Hello, welcome to SS Unitech. Susil this side, and this is continuation of AI for Data Engineer video series. Today we are going to start with the prompt template. So what is the prompt template inside the LangChain? So it is nothing but the reusable template that defines how you want to send the instructions and data to the LLM, and after that we'll get the response. So you can simply think, instead of writing the same prompt again and again, we can simply create the template with the variables, and the variables can be directly passed from the user. So this is the prompt template. Let me quickly go inside the Visual Studio and we'll try to implement in practical. So this is the code that we have written last video. So in this video, what we are going to do, let me try to copy the same code. I have already created this PromptTemplate.py file. Let me paste this code here. So what we can do, I'm going to specify any recipe as an input, and in the output we want to take the ingredient names. So the first thing what we have to do in this code, you have to import one library. So that is the LangChain underscore core dot prompts, and we can simply import prompt template. So if you don't have this library with you, then you can simply use the pip install and install the LangChain there. Alright, so this is the first thing you have to do. Now the second part, what you have to define, you have to define the prompt template. So the prompt template should be going to define below of this LLM. So the remain code will be same, and here I am going to specify the prompt value should be equals to prompt template. So the prompt template, and then it will be asking few of the parameters, because the prompt template nothing but it's a class, and this class is available under the LangChain underscore core prompt library. So while we are going to create the object of this class, we have to specify few of the input variables. If you can see here, the input variable, the name that you can see as an string, then input variable as a list we can pass, then the optional variables we can pass, and here somewhere we can see this template as well. We can pass the template, we can pass the template format. So all those as a input parameter we can pass. So as per our need, I'm going to pass the first variable, that is the input variable. So inside the input variable, we are going to use only a single variable, and this variable will be recipe. So I'm going to call this variable as recipe. The second thing, we have to specify the template. So I'm going to specify the template here, and inside the template URSF, as we can see, it is suggesting very good template. I'm going to use the same whatever it is suggesting, and then we can simply specify the recipe name. So recipe name we can get from this variable, and let me call this as recipe. Here I am going to ask the value from the user. So I am going to call this as question, and I am going to take the input from the user and enter the recipe name. That's it. And while we are going to call your LLM, so inside the invoke, it will not be directly like this. Here what we have to specify, we have to specify the prompt, because we have already created the prompt, and inside this prompt we have to go with the format, because the format will be taking a input parameter, and that parameter is required as recipe, and this recipe I am going to use as question, and then the response will be going to print as it is whatever we have. Now let me try to execute this code, and we'll try to check the output of this. So here we have to specify the recipe name. So I am going to specify the first recipe, that could be samosa, So inside the samosa we can see this list of 12 items, and these ingredients are used. As you can see, it is having this big list. Let me try for another recipe, and this time I am going with the maybe pizza, and the recipe is pizza, and here we can see the list of ingredient which is coming all these values. So I hope guys you have understood how we can create this chatbot. You can create the chatbot by using the Streamlit, as I told in the last video. You can simply copy this code and you can go in ChatGPT, and you can take help from the ChatGPT, and will be asking like how we can extract the Streamlit code from the ChatGPT, and we can simply use it here. Let me quickly recap what we have done in this video. First, we have imported this prompt template, which is available under the LangChain _ core library, and then we are going to use this prompt by using the prompt template. And prompt template is having multiple input parameters, but as per our need, I'm going to use the input variable, the first parameter, and the second is the template. Inside the template I'm going to specify this beautiful template, and I'm also going to pass this variable as recipe here. If you can see, I have passed this one. And while we are going to call the LLM, so instead of going to pass the questions directly here, we are going to pass the questions from the prompt. So while we are going to specify the prompt, we have to specify the format, and then we can pass the input parameter what is defined inside the prompt template. We can specify multiple prompt templates as well with multiple input parameter, that we'll see in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.